Kelsey. This is my channel, The Fancy Hat Lady Reads. I am wearing one of my fancy booktube hats, and today I'm bringing you my TBR for the month of June. I am aware that we're now a week into June. You may have noticed, a lot of videos I had to make this week. They've been going up, one after the other, and only now do I finally get around to my TBR for the month. Now, June and July are both going to be reading months for me that are dedicated primarily to Hugo nominees. Hugo voting has been open for a while now, and it closes at the end of July, I think. And if only everyone had the decency to nominate things that I had already read, I would not be in such a pickle, but I am in a pickle because I have read so few of the things. So lest you had thought, the BookTube SFF Award read-alongs are over, Kelsey can take a breath and read whatever she wants now, oh boy, you were wrong. I am going to start out, though, by just showing you a stack of books that weren't in the stack in my thumbnail. These are all of the books that I am currently reading that are all carrying over from last month. And I've got them arranged from top to bottom here in about the order of priority for me in terms of actually getting them read this month. I absolutely plan on finishing Space Opera and A Feast of Sorrows, maybe both like this weekend, and then I'll maybe make some progress in The Onion Girl and Born, but they're not priorities for me to finish at this moment because, as I said, all of the Hugo things. But the first book I'm going to show you is a book that I'm planning on reading that is not a Hugo nominee, and that is a book I'm planning on reading because it's a group read for the Into the Forest Goodreads group, and that is The Turnip Princess, which I just showed you in my last book haul, by Franz, Xaver von Schönwerth, a book of original fairy tales that were rediscovered a few years ago. And so this is the story collection that I'm going to start as soon as I finish A Feast of Sorrows, because I don't want to have two going at once. So that's why A Feast of Sorrows is a high priority for me to finish right now, so I can start in on this one. This group read goes through the 15th of next month, so there's no pressure on me to finish this book by the end of this month, but I at least want to get it started. The other group read for that group that is a high priority for me to get to this month because it overlaps with that Hugo reading is Summer in Orcus by T. Kingfisher. This is one of the nominees in the new Not a Hugo category, and basically that category is full of things that I want to read but haven't gotten to yet. And because this is also a group read for the Into the Forest group, this is going to be my highest priority to start with. This one is a book that I actually didn't own a copy of yet, but it is in the Hugo voter packet, so I have it now. I was actually just sort of starting to really sort through the Hugo voter packet last night and figure out what the heck is in there, and it's overwhelming. It is really overwhelming. But next, I want to touch on the books that are the nominees in the best novel category that I want to read. I have only read one of this year's best novel Hugo nominees, and that was The Stone Sky. The two of them that are in the Hugo voter packet in full are in fact the two that I kind of thought I was going to read anyways, so that is good for me. The first is The Collapsing Empire by John Scalzi. You may have seen that I had a library copy of this out back when I thought I might get to it before the end of the BookTube SFF Award read-alongs. That didn't happen. I returned my library copy, but it's in the Hugo voter packet, so I can read it there. And then the other one I have to read is Raven Stratagem by Yoon, but first I have to read the first book in this series, which I've had out from the library again for a while, because I did not get to this series during the BookTube SFF Award read-alongs. Bad me. And that is Ninefox Gambit. So my plan is to read Ninefox Gambit this month and then Raven Stratagem next month. And then I think that's going to be all I'm going to read for the best novel category, because the other things are things that I kind of feel like I can pass on. They're not things I feel like I'm absolutely compelled to read for any reason. But back to that YA not a Hugo category where I want to read all the things. Two of them are books that I already owned print copies of, and those are Akata Warrior by Nnedi Okorafor. This is the sequel to Akata Witch, which I read a couple months ago or so. And then the next is A Skinful of Shadows by Francis Hardinge. So I've made it my goal for this month to read as many of those Not a Hugo YA nominees as I can. So I'm gonna try to get to both of those. And then there's one more that I already had out from the library, and that is In Other Lands by Rees Brennan. Now I think this one is also in the voter packet, and if I'm right about that, I can return this library copy to cut down on clutter and read it on ebook. But I figured while I had a library copy here, I would show it to you in this TBR video. The other YA nominee that I have already, but on audiobook CD actually, is the Book of Dust Volume 1, La Belle Sauvage by Phillip Pullman. Now, I am all conflicted about this because I really, really wanted to reread his Dark Materials before listening to this. I read this trilogy when I was in high school, and I remember just about nothing about them. So there is a chance I might feel like I'm really, really on a roll, and I might feel like I can read this entire trilogy plus listen to the Book of Dust in the next 2 months. I'm doubting it's going to happen, but I'm throwing the Golden Compass into my TBR for this month anyways. If this happens this month, again, which I'm seriously doubting, then I will make a go for it. If it doesn't happen this month, I'm just gonna say, nope, not happening this summer, not happening. The last thing that's on that YA nominee list is The Art of Starving, which I know absolutely nothing about. So if you have any thoughts on that one, if you have any opinions on whether or not it's the sort of thing I will want to read, let me know, because that's the only one of the nominees for that award that was not previously on my radar at all. The other thing that I really want to get to this month that's one of the Hugo nominees that I've had on my Kindle for a long time, and I kind of wanted to read it last month, but I didn't get to it, was The Black Tides of Heaven by J.Y. Yang. So I'm hoping I can squeeze this in this month too, although I think next month is going to be the month I'm going to be focusing on nominees in the short work categories and in the best series category. And then on top of that, the last things I must desperately try to squeeze in this month are some of the review copies that I have on NetGalley. So I still have From Unseen Fire by Cass Morris, which I think was an April release. I have The Oddling Prince by Nancy Springer, which was a May release. And then I have Witchmark by C.L. Polk, which is a Tor.com novella. This is a June release this month, and I would really like to read this one sooner rather than later, because this I want to pair in a double review with Artificial Condition, which I've already read. Because those are two Tor.com novellas I got NetGalley ARCs for, and so in order to get my review done for the one I've already read, I gotta read the second one. And so that is all the mad crazy amount of stuff I want to read this month. Am I out of my mind? Almost definitely. Please send helpful, calming vibes. I am looking forward to August, because I think in August I will finally get to read some of the things on my actual normal TBR for like the first time in ages. Anyhow, that is all for today. Bye for now.